For cheap D2R items, visit aoeah.com. You get 3% off with the code ARIAD. Check the link in the description. Hello and welcome everybody. As you probably have noticed, there have been some big changes in Diablo 4 since the first 2 beta weekends. We'll take a look at them in a moment, and at the end of the video I'll summarize my impression of the 5 classes to maybe give some guidance to players who didn't have time to test all out. Conveniently, data miners have decrypted the game files and compared them with each other, so that we can overview all changes to all classes in this document. The link to this table can be found in the description below. Already with the barbarians you can find a lot of changes. While the hammer of the ancients have been weakened a bit, Whirlwind got a decent buff. More damage and better fury generation. Also Iron Skin has been improved, which is definitely to the barbarians' advantage. Otherwise, the various shouts have also been adjusted. The gameplay is still excellent, Whirlwind is a real mass killer. Boss fights are demanding, but with the right strategy and skill set, not a too big hurdle. Even more skills have been changed for the druids. Almost all basic attacks were reworked, most of them had small buffs. In the core attacks, the healing effect of Shred was strengthened and Thunderstorm got much more damage. The animals also received a strong buff, the damage of ravens have been doubled, of wolves even tripled. Trample has also improved. The druid is the one I've played the least so far, but our bro Cockle has been working on it a lot and I trust his judgment. He thinks the changes all look very sensible, he has successfully tested different ways to play the Dudu, so he offers a variety of possibilities. Melee attacks in wolf and bear form, as well as summons. I think there will be great possibilities to build an individual mix in the endgame. Moving on to the Necromancer, he got lots of nerfs. Skeletons die much faster, and the base attack Bone Splinter has been weakened, as well as the Cadaver Explosion. So almost everything I played in the first beta was nerfed, except for the Bone Spear. The enhancement got a good damage boost here. In the end, the Necro is still strong and very comfortable. The playthrough has been the easiest of all 5 classes, even after the changes, but you have to act much more than before. Whoever has relied on his skeletons only should be prepared to recast them much more often, and possibly survive a situation without them. The Cadaver Explosion still kills quickly and reliably, despite the 50% less damage, and playing with Bone Splinter and Bone Spear is still a solid option. For the rogues, there are only few minor changes, so most is the same as before. Penetrating Shot gets a small damage boost, many other changes affect infusion skills. In most cases they are small buffs. I played my rogues the same way as before, a very solid class. Now for the mages. There are lots of changes here, both positive and negative. Spark and Charged Lightning have been improved a bit, Chain Lightning has been weakened in return. The Frost Nova freezes monsters for 1 more second, but the additional effects have slightly been reduced. The damage of the Hydra was massively reduced. The changes frightened many players, I even heard that mages are dead since the patch, but I don't see it that way at all. Chain Lightning is strong enough, it's just not as OP as before, and also a Hydra still works very solid. I was able to play my mage the same way as in the last beta, but this time I also tested other variants more intensively, like Firebolt and Fireball. My impression is very good, I think it's a bit more balanced now, so that every element is an actual play option, and not everyone just plays Chain Lightning in the end because it's just the best. The balancing between the classes is also much better after the patch. The Necro, who previously has been way too strong compared to the others, has been catched. Overall, the characters are now a little closer together again, although each of them of course still has its advantages and weaknesses. The Barbarian is a pure melee fighter, but also has many mobile attacks like Whirlwind or Jump. He is a good tank, and he can also strengthen the team with his buffs. In boss fights, the barbarian has a disadvantage, but with the right skill set and the necessary gaming skill, everything is doable. Whirlwind is a very strong attack to mow down masses of random mobs very quickly. Compared to Diablo 2, his kill speed is much better here. The Druid is a versatile but also demanding class. You have many possibilities to develop. Melee attacks like Pulverize are really fun when fighting through large hordes. In boss fights, on the other hand, it's more easy to use ranged elemental attacks, of course. The Druid lacks a little in mobility, but he has strong summons and also some good defensive skills that can grant protection and healing. Those who like variety and individual build possibilities will get satisfied playing him. The Necromancer has some strong attack spells and many summons. He can deliver a high mass kill speed, and in a boss fight he also has it much easier than a melee. What the Necro lacks, however, are mobility and healing effects, and since the skeletons die much more often, you will get into trouble more often. Nevertheless, the gameplay is very comfortable, even though you have to participate in the game more actively than before. Rogues can learn both melee and ranged combat. The latter is very convenient and also very powerful in boss fights. In addition, our nice mobility helps here, or the possibility to become invisible for a short time. You also have traps, so it's technically a combination of Amazon and Assassin. Rogues are squishy, but in the hands of a skilled player, a rogue is a powerful weapon to face any battle. Also a nice choice for world boss events. In my estimation, the mage class will be very popular as always, even though the advantages are not as strong as they are in Diablo 2. As usual, you have quite a good kill speed, and also in boss fights you are glad to be a ranged fighter. Just like in D2, a Sorc usually is a glass cannon. There is even a skill that is called like that. Good movement is important, teleport is often helpful, but doesn't give a such powerful mobility advantage as in Diablo 2. As usual, we can work with the elements fire, ice and lightning. Mixing has become much easier. Overall, all classes are well playable and have their own character. I will initially focus on Barbarian and Hunter, but in the end I will play up each class. Just in time for the release of Diablo 4, I will also release starter guides for all classes. That leads us to the end. I say goodbye, take care and may the loot be with you.
Side 34 behind